So I just bought my second T-bill, and I want to share with you guys my experience, why I'm buying T-bills, what a T-bill is, and basically share with you my knowledge of T-bills. So if this is your first time here, guys, my name is Susan Velez, and on this channel, we talk about making money, saving money, investing money, and just getting smarter with our finances so that we can catch up for retirement, especially if you are late to saving for retirement like me. So guys, as I mentioned, I just bought my second T-bill. The first T-bill was a denomination of $100. The second T-bill, which they just pulled the money out of my account yesterday, was a $500 T-bill. And I want to share with you guys why I'm really loving T-bills and why I decided to go ahead and buy T-bills. And make sure you watch till the end, guys, because I'm going to tell you guys about my third T-bill that I'm getting ready to buy this week. I want to share with you guys the amount and the term of T-bill that I'm getting. So before we jump into sharing my stats of the T-bill, I want to tell you guys what a T-bill is. So I first learned about T-bills a year ago, and what they are is they are short-term securities that are backed by the U.S. government. So they are some of the safest securities or investments that you can buy because they are backed by the U.S. government, and the U.S. government has never defaulted on their debt. So I know what you're thinking. The U.S. government, their debt ceiling is out of control, but that debt ceiling, they keep raising the debt ceiling because they don't want to default on their debt. So if you are thinking about T-bills, they are a good investment. Of course, you'll want to do your due diligence and make sure that they are the right one for you. The main reason that I decided to invest in a T-bill versus putting some money in my high yield savings account or opening up a CD, which I already have a high yield savings account and I already have a CD, but I was looking for another place to park my money. And the reason that I chose T-bills was because the money the interest that you earn off of a T-bill is exempt from state and local taxes. So you will still have to pay federal taxes. You will get a 1099 form at the end of the year, but you won't have to worry about paying state taxes. Now, the reason that I shied away from buying T-bills in the past was because it is totally different than just opening up a high yield savings account or opening up a CD. With a high yield savings account or a CD, you know the interest rate up front. Unlike a T-bill, you have no clue what that interest rate is going to be. So you're basically buying blind. You have no clue what the interest rate is going to be. Although the Treasury Direct website, which is where I purchased my T-bill, does have a list of the recent auctions. So you can kind of get an idea of the ballpark of the interest rate that you're going to be paid on depending on the type of T-bill that you buy. So for the rest of this video, guys, I'm going to take you guys in front of my computer. I want to show you guys around the Treasury Direct website because that is where I purchased my T-bill. And hopefully this video will answer some questions that you have about T-bills. As I said, guys, I'm not a T-bill expert. I'm just sharing my experience of now buying 2 T-bills and getting ready to buy my third T-bill. And I really like the process of buying them. It's very easy. And the reason I wanted to create this video was because I learned about T-bills a year ago, as I mentioned earlier, but I was scared to buy. I didn't understand the process. I didn't know how to do it. And so now that I understand the process a little bit more, if you've ever thought about buying a T-bill, but you're scared and you don't understand how it works, I want to share my experience of the process and how easy it is and basically hopefully answer some questions. Now, if you are looking for a more in-depth explanation of how T-bills work, the interest that they pay, the maturity dates, all that stuff, guys, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you understand T-bills. I will tell you the truth. When I purchased my first $100 T-bill off the Treasury Direct website, I had no clue what I was doing. I followed a YouTube video that walked me through the process of opening up a Treasury Direct website. And I went ahead and I started with $100. And that's the reason that I started with the Treasury Direct website, was because you can start with a minimum of $100 buying your first T-bill. If you buy T-bills from a brokerage account or a bank, I believe the minimum is $1,000 or more. So do your due diligence. Find out where you want to buy your T-bills, if this is the right short-term vehicle for you guys. But for me, guys, this is what I'm using to park some short-term cash that we have instead of putting it in a high-yield savings account. So that's the purpose of a T-bill, is for parking your short-term cash. And when I mean short-term cash, guys, you can buy T-bills in terms of, or durations of, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 13-week bills, 17-week bills, 26 weeks, or 15 weeks. So it's important to find out how long you want to park your cash. And once you buy a T-bill, guys, especially if you're buying it through Treasury Direct, my understanding is that you have to leave the money in there the entire time, because pulling your money out before the maturity date is very complicated. You'll have to use snail mail, or you'll have to jump through a bunch of hoops. I don't understand the process of pulling the money out. When I purchase a T-bill for the term, my goal is to park that money for the short-term duration. It doesn't matter whether I'm buying a T-bill for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 13 weeks, 17 weeks, 26 weeks, or 52 weeks. My goal is to leave that money untouched. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you only buy T-bills in the amount that you're not going to need, that you don't need, and just leave it parked. So let's go ahead and go in front of the computer, guys, and I want to show you guys around the Treasury Direct website, share my experience of buying my second T-bill, and what I'm going to be buying for my third T-bill, which is coming due this week. So here we are inside of my Treasury Direct account, and what I want to do is basically just share with you guys my two T-bills that I purchased. The first one was $100, the second one was $500, and then the next one that I'm getting ready to buy, which is this week, I submitted a non-competitive bid. And that's the thing about these, it's a little bit confusing because you're bidding at auction and you're not actually participating in the auction. You're submitting a non-competitive bid. But before I show you guys my T-bill purchases, what I want to do is kind of show you guys how you would see what type of interest you would be getting. So right here on the Treasury Direct website, you can see that they have announcements and data results. So these are the results of the previous auctions. So you can see, because you can see right here, the 13-week auction with the issue date of April 25th. So it hasn't actually issued yet, but the maturity date will be July 25th, 2024. So this auction had an investment rate of 5.4%. So the high rate, guys, doesn't pertain to us as the investors. You're looking at the investment rate. So the investment rate for the previous auction was 5.4%. So what I do is, if I am thinking about buying a 13-week T-bill, well, I'm actually getting ready to buy a 17-week T-bill, but what you can do is look at the previous auction. So you can come down here where the issue date was 4/16, because these are sold on a weekly basis. So of course, depending on the type of T-bill that you get, if you buy a 52-week T-bill, then that is a yearly basis, because you're investing and tying up your money for a year. However, the 13-week T-bills, you can see 13-week, 26-week, 4-week, 8-week, 17-week are sold on a regular basis. So if you don't buy a T-bill this week, but you think you missed out, you can still buy another T-bill. And I think there's certain days that the T-bills are sold, but I'm not exactly sure the days of the weeks that are sold. So if you look right here, guys, the last 13-week T-bill, which was issued on April 11th, which has already passed by the time you're watching this video, the interest rate was 5.368%. So you can kind of see what the interest rate or the ballpark figure is going to be. Now, this is a yearly interest rate. So if you're only investing for a 17-week, 13-week, or anything below a year, you're only going to get a portion of this interest, and you'll have to do some calculations to figure out how much money you'll earn on the T-bill depending on the amount or the term that you purchase. Now, if you invest it for a 52-week bill, then you will get the full amount as long as you leave your money in there and don't withdraw it before the maturity date, because you will not get the full amount if you withdraw your money before the maturity date. And honestly, guys, I don't understand how to pull the money out before the maturity date. I've heard it can be a headache, especially if you're buying the T-bills on Treasury Direct. So you want to make sure that you understand this before you invest your money on these short-term investment vehicles. So I actually am getting ready to show you guys my investments and kind of share with you guys how much money they took out of my account, what you can expect. So right here, guys, I'm going to show you guys one of them. So we're going to come over here to view a summary. And then you're going to see that I have two 8-week T-bills. So one is for $500. And then the very first one that I bought, guys, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't want to spend more than $100. So I bought the minimum that you can purchase on Treasury Direct, which was for $100. So this one just got issued yesterday, and they just pulled the money out of my account yesterday. So I'm going to share with you guys what it looks like if you invest $500 in a T-bill. So you can see, guys, that the issue date was 4/23/24, security issued. Par amount or face value of the amount of T-bill that I got was $500. And then it was initiated by Treasury Direct, which I purchased directly on the Treasury Direct website. As you can see, guys, I've told you you can buy them at banks and brokerage accounts, but you'll have to invest a lot more than $100. I think the bare minimum of buying them at a brokerage account is $1,000, whether you buy them at Fidelity or Vanguard or Charles Schwab or any other brokerage account. I'm not sure how they work if you buy them at a bank. I've never bought T-bills anywhere else besides Treasury Direct, so I can only share my experience of buying a T-bill on Treasury Direct. So what I'm par amount or face value that I purchased a T-bill was $500, but you can see that the purchase price that they pulled out of my checking account was $495.90. So even though I bought a $500 T-bill, I only ended up paying $495.90. So you don't pay the full amount, you pay a purchase price, and the purchase price is based on the interest that you get for the T-bill. So when the maturity date ends, guys, my understanding is that they will give me back the $500, the par amount that I invested, and also give me the interest. So I want to share with you guys my next upcoming purchase, which I'm purchasing this week. And I want to share with you guys what that is. And I have no clue what the interest rate is going to be, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at what the interest rate is. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead and look at what the interest rate is that I got. And then we'll go back and look at the interest rate of the previous auction so that you can kind of tell whether how correct this is. So you can see that my investment or interest rate is 5.39%. So if we come over here to the auctions before the 23rd, and we're going to go, so this was the one that was yesterday, this 8-week T-bill, which is the 4/23 issue date, which is the one that I was participating in. And you can see that the interest rate is 5.393%, which is the interest rate that I got right here, 5.393%. So you can see that this is the auction that just finished and that I purchased. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the previous auction, which was before the week before the one that I purchased. So you can see that the issue date on this one was 4/16/2024. And then you can see that the interest rate, remember, we're not paying attention to the high rate. We're paying attention to the investment rate, because that's the investment rate that we are getting. So it's 5.387%. So you can see that the interest rate that I got was a little bit higher than the interest rate of the previous auction. So I am getting ready to purchase a 17. I purchased this on April 18th, and it is in the amount of $4,200. So I'm going to be purchasing a T-bill in the amount of $4,200. Now I know that they won't pull out the full par amount, but I don't have a clue what the interest is going to be on this 17-week T-bill. So what we're going to do, if you are considering purchasing a T-bill, what you want to do is, like I said, you buy blindly. You have no clue what the interest rate is going to be, but you can come over here and you can kind of see what the 17-week T-bill is going to be. So right here, guys, the last T-bill or 17-week T-bill right here, which the issue date is 4/23/2024, which I'm participating in the next auction. So you can see that the interest rate was 5.406. So based on the 8-week T-bill that I just purchased, you can see that the interest rate was a little higher than the previous auction that I purchased, was a little bit higher than the previous auction. So my hope is that the one that I purchased this coming week, which is going to be on the 30th, I believe, right here, the issue date is going to be on the 30th, then I'm hoping that the interest rate is a little bit higher than the one that was issued on the 23rd of April. So you can see that the interest rate, the investment rate is 5.406. So my hope is that hopefully the one that I get on the issue date of the 30th is a little bit higher than the one that was the previous auction. So it is a little confusing, and I think that's the reason that I shied away from T-bills for so long, because I had no clue how it works. But now that I've purchased two and getting ready to buy my third one, I honestly really do think that I like these a lot better than CDs and high yield savings account. And the reason that I do is because, as I mentioned, T-bills are exempt from state taxes. So I really am planning on buying more and parking my short-term investment money or my short-term savings on T-bills. And this is money that I plan on using in the next year or so. And so the reason I purchased them in increments the way I did was because I still am shy to buying T-bills. I had no clue how it really works. I've only purchased one $100 T-bill, and I wanted to get a feel of how it works. So anyway, that's the reason that I'm buying T-bills, and I really like it. And the next time I'm looking for saving more short-term money, then I probably will buy some more T-bills, because I'm really a fan of T-bills now. And honestly, guys, if you look at the interest rates on the T-bills and you look at the interest rates, let's go ahead and go to Goldman Sachs high yield savings account. We're going to go ahead and look at what the high yield savings account is on the Goldman Sachs. So you can see that the interest rate on a Goldman Sachs high yield savings account is 4.40% APY. So far right now, you can earn more interest. Of course, if, as I mentioned, it is a yearly interest. This is based on a yearly interest, so you won't earn this full investment rate unless you leave your money parked in a T-bill for the entire year. You're only going to earn a portion of this investment rate. So you'll want to do the calculations and find out how much you'll earn based on the amount of money that you invest. And then, guys, let's go ahead and look at the CDs. Just go ahead and type in the Goldman Sachs CDs, because that's who I use for my CDs and my high yield savings accounts. A 7-month CD right now is a 4.70%. An 11-month CD is a 4.70%. 13-month CD is a 4.70%. So you can see, guys, none of these interest rates, the annual percentage year yield, meaning that if you leave it in there for a year, none of these beat the T-bill rates that they have right now. And also remember, guys, if you purchase a CD or open up a high yield savings account and put your money in there, then you're going to have to pay state, federal, and local taxes on the interest that you earned from both your CDs and your high yield savings account. T-bills, as I mentioned, and I really love, is that they are exempt from state and local taxes. So if you are looking for ways to beat inflation or earn more money off of your savings, and you have it sitting in a savings account, a traditional savings account that is not earning any money, and you don't mind locking up your short-term savings, then you definitely should look into T-bills and learn as much as you possibly can so that you can find ways to beat inflation and earn more money off of the money you already have. That's the one thing I really learned since really learning about financial literacy, is that you have to move your money around and find the best interest rates that you can get for your money. You can't just leave it stagnant and parked in one area. I used to just leave my money parked in a regular savings account earning pennies, and it wasn't until I understood that the only way to make your money work harder for you is to find the best investments. But this means that you need to understand where you're putting your money, you need to understand why you're putting your money there, and you need to be familiar with what you're doing. That way you can sleep good at night. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to give you an inside peek to my Treasury Direct website and show you the 2 T-bills that I've purchased and the one that I'm getting ready to purchase this week at auction. So, and it sounds a little funny because, as I said, it sounds like you're participating in the auction, but you're actually not participating in the auction. You're just submitting a non-competitive bid, and the banks and all these other companies go to bat for you for the highest rates. So let me know down in the comments below, have you ever purchased a T-bill? And if so, where did you purchase your T-bill? And do you like T-bills? And would you purchase another one? So if you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Click on that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I put out a new video. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.